Thanks very much, Chris. And before we get started, I just want to thank the team here in Syracuse, Chris, Caitlin, Jessica, and Andra for doing such an amazing job of pulling this together. It was really a heavy lift, and I really don't see how we could have pulled it off better with a team here in Syracuse like this. So
six weeks. You don't do these things in 6 weeks.
So I'm in the position like somebody was earlier. I'm standing between you and the drinks, which may be between you and the bathroom. I'm not sure which is worse. So we'll try and keep it brief. Really what we want to talk about, Chris and I, with community-owned shared renewables is where the rubber is going to meet the road as far as us hopefully being able to support this movement of community solar with the information and expertise and ideas going forward. We're not always going to be able to come together physically like this. And what Chris is going to show you is the launch of our new online shared resource, CoShareNYS.org. You can tell I've never said that before. So very quickly, get this thing fired up. So community-owned shared renewables, or CoShare, was something that the Alliance started up after the order came out from the Public Service Commission enabling shared community solar. Many of us were under the impression that when that came out, there was already the information, the business models, all thought through, ready to roll. We were not correct about that, and so we decided that we wanted to try and pull together some of the best thinking from other folks from across the country. Many of them are in this room. And we started doing bi-weekly conference calls and participated in the various spaces out there, including the Public Service Commission's Low Income CDD Collaborative and the National Community Solar Partnership. CoShare is really the members in the Alliance that are interested in this. It's not really a formal organization, it is a working group. And we really want to be a resource for the development of community shared solar arrays that really benefit to the maximum extent the community, whether that's community owned or community controlled. That's really why we exist. Isaac said earlier that there's a lot of public money going into all this, and I would completely echo him that this public benefit should, in the main, go to the communities of New York State. That's sort of our driving philosophy, if you will. So what we do, there we go, I've already talked about some of these things. We didn't actually end up having a discussion group on policy and advocacy, but from the discussions today and your knowledge, you're probably aware that there are a few issues here and there having to do with things like interconnection and incentives and so forth. Some areas of policy that remain to be worked out. And so we're also a space to try and channel that, working with other partners such as NYSEA and others that have common interests in wanting to see the solar industry really thrive in the state of New York. And this is really our coming out party, if you will, but it's not the last. Our plan going forward is to either support existing organizing, and I'll mention this a little bit later, but in the North Country, in a week, there's another thing like this, except it's regional. We'll talk about that in a second. We're already planning to do some webinars based around what our current members have seen as the major challenge areas, finance and interconnection. And you will probably see or hear many familiar faces and voices from today, in addition to others. We also have regular conference calls, and Chris is going to show you the toolbox in just a minute. So those are the first two task forces. We want to try and tackle those things that rise to the top as being the most important challenges. These are some that come to mind, but it's really going to be on you to come to us and say, you know, this is the thing that we're facing. Maybe we should pull together a workshop, a webinar, go to talk to people at DPS or NYSER to see what we can get done. So nuts and bolts, if you're interested in getting on our listserv, there's the information that you need. That's the next phone call, and this is the next event. It's not our event as such, but we are supporting it. I will be there. Actually, out of curiosity, who else is going to Tupper Lake for the event on the 31st? Got some hands? Good. Hopefully a few more will pop up. So last but not least, I'm going to introduce my colleague Chris Neidl from Here Comes Solar, and he's going to show you the toolbox, and then Caitlin will round things up and we all get a drink. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be really quick. Could you do me a favor, Adam? Could you actually just, because I'm going to have to run over there to show. I just want to quickly show you, so CoShare, just to emphasize in terms of our pronoun use.
You want me to bring it up on?
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. Yeah. It should already be on the Firefox window that. The CoShare, the pronouns we've been using are sort of you and us, and this is not me sounding corny at all, but it's actually really a we type of thing. It's a completely volunteer group that anybody in this room that's at the community level and trying to realize community-based solar projects and wants to talk to other people around the state who are doing other types of projects and wants to learn from them and potentially share with them, you can join. So what we decided to do is just put together a very simple website, since we're sort of all over the state working on different issues, and we have a bi-weekly call now, which has been growing, but there's certain limitations, obviously, to what you can really achieve in terms of sharing on an hour-long bi-weekly conference call. So what we've done is we just put together this simple, essentially an intranet for anybody who wants to be a member. And it's got a few basic pieces that it can grow over time. What we can do, actually, do you want to just go ahead and move it, Adam, or should I go over there? Or
where do you want me
maybe
to
I'll come in and do it. Basically, it's just it's an intranet. We can start here. If you become a member, if you click on members, go ahead and move down and click on member, right there. This is all very recognizable to you as a basic sort of social media architecture. You can go ahead and scroll down a little bit.
You can tell I'm a Mac user.
You can see, yeah. So these are some members that we've had, some early people that have just come on. This just launched a couple of days ago. And by being members, you can communicate with other people, both publicly and privately, to their profile, find out about other people. You can also form groups with them, which through our calls, we find that there's certain people in certain regions that are facing particular challenges or have particular program elements that are only relevant to an area. You can form a group around this, and this is a way that you can communicate and share. If you go to share, though, that's really kind of the big part. So what we're trying to do, just to start, there's some forums there that we have that are broken down by subjects that are relevant to community project. You can obviously participate in the forum, Reddit style. It's all pretty familiar to you. We can add these and change these over time. But all the rest of this stuff, if you go back up, Adam, to share, it's meant so that anybody who's a member can contribute content to it. It's not us just providing content, it's everybody pooling their content. So what we've done is, if you look at projects, this will be, I think, an important page, that this is one that I just put up. If you're a member and you're working on something, it could be a concept, it could be something in developer, it could be up and operating. This just allows you to, if you go ahead and click on that particular one, this just shows you, go down and hit read more. It's a huge screen. This is me, I just put some information about a solar project they did with an affordable housing provider in northern Manhattan that just gives some background on what happened, including links. We're not prescribing any format here. Anybody can share information whatever way they want to, but both for the purposes of telling the world about what you've done, and also from a growing network soliciting feedback and ideas. There's a comment section on the bottom. Whoever posts it, any member can go ahead and click, can send them information or ask for more details. So we're really just trying to create essentially a network of participants. Some other stuff that we want to do, there's also up here, for instance, if you click on share again, events. This is a user-sourced events calendar. If you move down, Adam, I just have one on there right now. If you go down, is the event in the Adirondacks. If you click on that, this gives you basically the information that you would need to know, where it is, who the contact people are. Any member can add their own events to that so that the rest of the people can see it. Under share as well, there's a file share. This is the thing that was driving me insane, finding the right plugin for this, but broken down by case studies, legislative and regulatory documents. If you click on white papers, Adam, just the little square there, the little, sorry, not that, the magnifying glass. Sorry, go down. Right there, yep. So right now we have it organized by various different contributors, NRL, IREC, some of the documents that Chris actually had talked about, they're all up there, and anybody can add it as they want. We can add new folders, so just a way of sharing. And then, you can see where other things can come on. We started to explore this idea of, what if someone's trying to solicit a solar developer for their community solar project, and they can do X, Y, and Z things that can reduce the cost, and they're looking for a developer can do X, Y. We can create a sort of a Craigslist type of thing that could be viewable to a broader public. You want to announce projects or put up RFPs. And another thing I think for a lot of us that are working, that are tiny little grassroots organizations, there's plugins that you could do like any of the various crowdfunding platforms that you can build into this. Like, let's say someone needs $500 that'll be very important to their program. We've got 100 members. Then they can post there and try to raise $500, for their program needs through this. So that's another thing we're looking at. So anyway, you get the sense this is going to grow based on what our members need and want to do, but this is where we're going to start. If you're interested in joining, you can go to CoShareNYS.org. You can click on if you scroll up a little bit, the join, you send me a message. Right now, it's for community organizations, individuals, activists, and nonprofits. It's not for private developers. This isn't a sales platform. I wouldn't blame you for trying. So that's the only sort of restrictions we have. So I'm going to shut it. But hopefully that gives you a sense. And ask me about it.